We started down there where that conveyor system is, and I've made my way up to the very top workings here. You can see some of the stuff I passed on the way. And then directly behind me is this adit here. So we'll start here. See what is inside this small looking adit. Some of the stuff on the way looked a lot bigger, but we'll check them all out. Okay, I see something back there. Runs back to there, but I'm not sure what that is yet. Okay, this is an ore chute, a very plugged ore chute. I saw it plugged, a tiny plug shaft up above, so obviously that is what this dropped down to, or obviously what that shaft dropped down to. And yeah, that just stopped back there. So tiny little shaft plugged up above, dropped the ore down to here, and you can see the rail here it would come out on, and then head down the mountain. So I will drop down to the next level and pick it up there. Okay, next level down, you can see there's a shaft right here, but I can look down and I see rail, and I see an adit going in there on that level, so I don't see any reason to try and drop down there when I think I can just easily access it from there. And then behind me here are a couple of tiny little prospect drifts that head in this way, and they go back just 15 feet or so and then stop. So that is it for this level. I will carry on down here to where that track is. Okay, next level down. I was filming from up there earlier. To my right here you can see the remains of what I believe are a trestle, or perhaps a some sort of support, because you can see rail running along here under there, and I think that emptied out those two tiny little adits right there and would bring the ore out either on top of this or underneath this. It's really hard to say now. Okay, I was just filming from down there, and now that I've gotten up here I can see that there's actually a shaft below me right here. So I think the lower section of that structure right there was to empty the contents of the shaft here, and the upper part was a trestle that emptied out these two very tiny adits behind me. This one sorry, just stumbled. This one goes back, and you can see the end of it right there. And then this one I think doesn't really go anywhere either. Maybe a little bit farther. Yeah, okay, yeah, it just goes back to here, and there's a little bit stoked out, but that's it. So let's drop down and back to where that track is and pick up from there. We just covered this section. We were just up in those adits there. There's another look at that structure that we were discussing earlier. See the track running at my feet here, and the track runs over here to a pretty sizable looking adit there. We'll head in there in just a minute. You can see the ties here on the ground, suggesting that the rail used to come over here, and there are the remains of some kind of ore chute running down here to that bigger trestle there. So let's go see what is inside here. Okay, make an entry into the adit now, and there's a grizzly. Didn't get to go very far in this one. Obviously that ties into that shaft that we saw above, and it looks like this might be an ore passage. That's way too narrow to be a proper shaft, but it does drop down a ways, so I'm guessing one of those lower levels will probably tie into this. Curious. Okay, I'm at the bottom of this trestle now. I was filling up there earlier, and to my left is a large looking adit. So we'll head in there, and you can see the remains of some metal and wood and stuff there. The tracks came out of this adit here in front of us, behind us here, and you can see one set of tracks ran off that way, and then another set of tracks came out here. We'll check that out in a minute. First, let's see what this adit has for us. Pretty nice timbered portal. That looks cool. Okay, first look inside the mine. It goes back as far as I can see, so that's a good sign. It's also all hard rock, which is also a nice sign. Carrying on, there's an ore chute coming up here, and it looks like we've also picked up some rail. Yes, we have. Big fan of rail. And we have a mummified jackrabbit right here. Okay, yeah, this is indeed an ore chute, and remember that one up above that I speculated dropped down to a lower level? I'd be willing to bet quite a lot that that is this one. It's interesting, the metal gate right there in front. And here's a look up. You see the rat nest up there. And this actually just stops right there. So this was just for the ore chute here. Huh. Alright, well, I will head back out to that trestle and show you where that goes. Okay, we just came out of that adit there. There's a trestle running down the hill here. And there's this trestle in front of us here. That comes out here, drops into this bin here, and then at one time carried out down there. See the pipe leading out, and would dump into a truck or something that would be waiting there. And of course you can see the road running out that way. Let's see where this one on the right runs off to. I'll pick up right about there. Following this right branch out now. Curious where this is going to lead to, because I saw something fenced up here. Okay, so this just leads to here. So this was obviously a waste rock. Okay, so they had two choices. They could take the waste rock out and dump it along here, or the good stuff they would dump into that bin there. So they were discriminating miners, and would just decide on the spot, you know, where the stuff they're taking out should go, whether it was ore worth keeping or waste rock to get rid of. So I can see there's some shafts right there. I don't even see anything to anchor on to go down those, to rope in. And I would bet that those tie into those workings down there. So I'm going to go ahead and head on down to that where that head frame is, and we'll check that out down there. I thought this was interesting. There's a tipped over ore bin here, and it's a fairly large one, so that could have carried a fair amount of ore. There's a view back to where we were up there, the trestle and such. It's just surface workings on the left. I just went up and checked real quick to make sure, and that's just surface stuff. So we're gonna head down and check out this head frame here, like I said earlier. Okay, we have some enormous boards here, so I'm sure this is where the hoist was. There's the head frame looking up at it there, and these enormous boards carry over to here. You can see where there were some bolts in the side of them and such. And let's see, I see some open stuff up there, probably connected to the shaft here. A cool looking head frame. Okay, here's the shaft itself. view down it. Looks like there are 2 compartments. And then over here, you see the rail coming up from the side right there. The skip car would come up and either join another cart here or flip up and be carried out along this little trestle here to the chute right there. And then if it was a waste rock, they would take it out on this pile here. And then of course we've got that other adit down there below us. I would be more concerned about getting underground here, but I'm pretty sure that adit below us is going to tie into this stuff here. Here's another view of the shaft. That section in front of us doesn't go anywhere, but obviously that section does. And another look up at the headframe itself. There's a view up to the headframe, and I checked over here, and this is all surface work here, you know, little trenches and that kind of thing. There's a tiny little shaft right there. It doesn't go anywhere, it goes down a few feet and then stops. But the reason I turned on the camera down here is because behind me here there's something interesting looking. I thought we'd check it out together. Oh wow. That, I don't know if you can tell, opens up into a huge cavity right there. I mean, really big cavity. That's pretty extensively timbered, as you can see. And then below me drops off as far as I can see. Let me swing over and get a better look at that. Okay, here's a better view of that cavity I was mentioning right here. That's probably 15, 17 feet across or so right there, just to give you a sense of how big that opening is. And then looking down here, this just plunges into an abyss. I mean, I have no idea how far that goes down. At least 100 feet, if not more. And that's straight down. And that wood there is pretty sketchy looking, so I don't really have any way to drop down there to get a closer look. Don't really have any desire to. Obviously that headframe above us goes farther down than I expected. I don't know where that adit below us is going to tie into now, but I'll head down there now and find out. There's that conveyor system there. Let's go see where this adit beneath the headframe leads to. Heading on in. Alright, there's the support for the shaft right there. I'm not sure if there's not a rattlesnake or something in these tumbleweeds. This is tricky to navigate. So there's an ore chute right there coming down off the structure of the shaft. The shaft is right here in front of me and drops down. I'm gonna be careful here. So the shaft drops down that way. It looks, I can't tell if that's a platform down there or the bottom, or it's partially caved. Either way, that's a long way down. And there's a manway right there. There's a pipe there. I'm not sure if that's for waste rock or ventilation or what. Right there, or just to drop tools down, who knows. Just looking up. That's where we were looking down just a minute ago. And then over this way, going to that ore chute here. So there's a little gate right here, basically telling people not to come back where I'm going. You see the metal jaws essentially on that chute right there. That's interesting. And then behind us, this is that pit that we were looking into before. And this is really slippery here, so I'm not even going to get close to the edge, but that, just trust me, that drops off a really long way down there. And then that stops right there, but I can see that something plunges down right there. Again, that's a bit sketchy even for me, because I could see from up above that was their undercut right there. So, no thank you. That's where we were looking down from above. Those are those large, that's that large frame that was supporting the entrance to that cavity up there. I think I might have found a big enough rock to do the rock test with, so let's see what we can hear. Okay, it just stopped. So yeah, I think my estimate of about 100 feet is right. Not something I want to go down, that's for sure. Interesting mine. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next week.